this is like a completely normal matchup of the best Tin Fins player in Canberra, Angus McKay, also known as me, and James O'Rourke, the dumb idiot. I think that's about it. We done?
That's so rude. James is on Grixis. I think he's played Grixis a couple of Lex events now.
Yes, yeah, he tends to favour, from what I've seen, forcible based decks in Legacy, which is a strange turn of events due to his playing of Green Red Tron in Modern as a complete opposite to the strategies he chooses to pursue in Legacy.
I mean, that's interesting. I've never been one to play blue, mainly because I just don't know when to counter things.
Yeah.
It's too much thinking.
It's one of the skills in playing a control deck, just kind of analyzing what threats actually matter. Like, does this matter to me at all if my opponent casts a spell? Like, who could ever really know? It's just, it's a complicated matter.
The important thing is...
Angus and James don't know what to do with the
yeah. The important thing is making sure the life total is exactly aligned, because we were fighting over it for a long time, because obviously I can't be on that side because that's where I keep my deck. So if I want to have it on the other side, I have to block off half my board. So really, if there was some way that we could have it up on the top in between the two names, that'd be ideal. But I guess for now, the life total on the iPad is fine.
No thanks. Alright, yeah, so we've got Grixis Delta versus Tin Fins. Tin Fins is just a well-known turn 1, Grizzlebrand, draw, play like Children of Corliss, gain some life, draw more cards, tendrils. Like Storm tendrils. It's
a lot more complicated than
linear.
that. It's a really easy deck to pilot.
What's your opinion on Tin Fins as a deck? I mean, and its matchup against Grixis Delta.
I think these kind of like very, very fast, very, very like hellbent combo decks can have a tough time against some of these dazed and forcible based strategies. I don't know actually whether James is playing Grixis Delver, because I can see a council's judgment and maybe a spell queller in his hand there. So I think he's on some kind of obviously Tundra based strategy.
I remember this. So this is a match. This event happened a couple of weeks ago, and I asked Brandon to set up the recording for me. And Brandon asked James if he was on Grixis Delver, and James was like, "Yes, I'm on Grixis Delver." So that's what Brandon put in. He was not on Grixis Delver.
He's on some kind of
he's on
Stoneblade or
Stoneblade, yeah.
I didn't see very many of his cards.
Very weird decision by James not to play turn 1 Ponder here. I don't know really what he's hoping from keeping mana up. I didn't see a Sword Supply shares in his hand, but that's the card I think would make him want to choose a line of not pondering. No, it's just a Tasica. Okay, I have no idea why you wouldn't ponder. I mean, you can represent Sword Supply shares, I guess, but your opponent on these kind of glass cannon based combo decks is not really gonna play around Sword Supply shares, especially when they have access to Unmask and Cabal Therapy and other kind of discard spells they can play that kind of clear the way. And if you've only got a Force of Will to kind of protect that, it's not really the path you want to pursue.
Yeah, well, turn 1 I played the Unmask just to see what he had going on, and he Force of Willed it straight away. So that to me is fine. I would have chosen Force of Will anyway. So because Force of Will, like Sword Supply shares, is fine. He casts it, I go great. I draw as many cards as I can as possible. Sword Supply shares resolves, and then I just go off next turn. There's really no worry for me about a Sword.
You can even just go off again. You can just get that Lotus Petal Dark Ritual, like Entomb or Faithless Looting. Like it really doesn't stop you. And I don't think you can. I don't think he has the luxury of just representing Sword Supply shares and hoping someone who's chosen to play Tin Fins is like, I guess I'll play conservative. That's not really a line that I think's gonna work out. You can see this Thoughtseize here, just like really, at this point, he should probably concede out of shame.
Did you foreseize yourself?
I did thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's not,
I love that you do that. It's
yeah,
just,
it's
You've
not
gotta-
an
you've gotta
uncommon
get
play
that,
for me, yeah.
That children of course on the grave somehow, right?
I also quite like tilting him completely by showing him my hand and then having him be able to do nothing and then just continually doing it. So I'm on 2 right now, but Children of Course is in my graveyard. Reanimate's there. I kind of whiffed on that draw, which is unfortunate. However,
Well, yeah,
next turn Reanimate, I can swing for 7, draw 7, then gain 8 life, then probably go off again. So it's like
yeah.
even at 2 life, I'm probably
Well,
fine.
you can see the raw power of the deck actually shaking the table. Like Grizzlebrand is here and he's ready to party. He's
That's
gonna
right.
take a big 7 chunk out of James's life total.
Oh yeah.
it's definitely a deck that, you know, if they can't successfully go off on turn 1, they rebuild really easily. I've seen you consistently, I don't know, whiff on that, you know, draw 7 from Grizzlebrand.
I don't consistently whiff. Thank you very much.
I mean, the matchups we played, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's able to rebuild and it's not like just completely shut off straight away.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an interesting deck. But I mean, yeah, I don't think James can really do much here.
No, well, Angus, you know, well, basically all of his hand, you know, he's just got a Council's Judgment and a Tasiga, which does nothing against Grizzlebrand coming in, and even Daze here is just not going to be effective because you're just going to have, you know, you can have a land drop, you can have a Lotus Petal, you can have a Dark
What
Ritual.
is that draw 7? Did you? Was that
Yeah,
just,
drew
was that like
3
three
polluted
three-
deltas, 2 Lotus Petals. That's fine. I'll take that. Definitely. Storm Count is great. You know, just to pump down 2 Lotus Petals. And then I finally got my land. You know, keeping a 1 land or no land hand is common for me, sometimes for the worst. I've definitely gone a no land hand with an unmask or something and then going, yeah, sure, that's fine, and then not drawn lands for the rest of the game. It hurts.
Tin Fins is one of those decks where you just got to take risks, right?
Yeah.
You just got to do it. You can see a minor misstep, not cracking that fetch for that crucial point of life.
I know, what a fool. At this point, I don't really care, right? I just keep going with Children of Corliss, Shallow Grave, you know, I'll use all my reanimation spells. Even get another Grizzlebrand out there if I'm feeling lucky, just to have them untapped as like a last resort, but I've pretty much won at this point.
Yeah.
In my eyes, at least. Even if I lose, it's a moral victory, because I've got Children of Corliss and Grizzlebrand out. It's just a matter of time before I go up to 1,000,000 life and get that Tendrils.
You're so confident.
Thank you. It's because I know that I won this match.
It's like we're recording this after the fact. As you can see, Angus is wearing a really wonderful shirt, the legs shirt with the CBR MTG represent on the sleeves. Yeah, we printed, I think, 5 or 6 of those shirts. So if you ever see the camera crew hanging around at events that involve Legacy, you'll see us wearing those shirts.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because I have abnormally long arms, so that shirt is just a tiny little bit too small for my arms. But
well, I mean, I think
the
the kind of rolled up sleeves look does work for you. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have had many people say that to me.
Yeah, and like it definitely sends the message to your opponent that you're here for business.
That's
like
I'm rolling my sleeves.
you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. You're ready to work with the graveyard and kind of dig through. You can definitely see by your choice of using the new Entomb art of the hand coming out of the graveyard that like if you get dirt under your nails, it doesn't bother you until after the event. You know, like
that's right. Then I can wash up and go home a proud man.
Yeah.
He'll wash his hands of his dead opponents after.
Yeah, that's
after,
right.
Yeah,
Just
when
the
it's, you know,
tears and blood of my opponents.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, the black-red version is trash. Absolutely trash. I've cut it since. I've talked with a lot of people on forums and stuff about why black-red is good, but in the end it's just not as good as having blue in there. You know, blue costs a lot more money, but it's just so much better.
Brainstorm's a hell of a card.
Oh yeah, Brainstorm is a hell of a card.
So what was I don't know if you can think back that far. What was your sideboarding? What were you thinking?
This is really interesting.
Not seeing much come out of. I mean, I think that's probably another. I mean, not a downside, but it's definitely like a decision you have to make when you're winning games turn 1, game 1, and you potentially just don't know what your opponent's on.
Absolutely.
How do you sideboard for that?
I saw blue and I saw white, so I thought, hey, he's probably running counterspells. This is a new list of this. That was a new sideboard list of mine. I had a wish board, and I just side in burning wishes, and that's all I do because I want my combo to go off as quick as possible. However, my wish board was just wouldn't work. My anti-hate was so strong, and my burning wish was so slow, and I ended up just cutting it for just decent spells. So I got 3 silences coming in, and 3. It's a big list. So 3 silences coming in, 4 Cabal therapies coming in, and 3 wear and tears. Now wear and tear is just my generic anti-hate. Is it a there might be a Beseiju in there as well.
Yeah, sorry, Beseiju.
So there's a Beseiju and a Swamp. So Beseiju swapping Swamp, Cabal Therapy swapping Thoughtseize, because now I know what to. Now
the only card you really care about is Force of Will, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just name Force of Will every time. And also with Cabal Therapy, I can flashback by sacrificing my Gristlebrand, and it's just like an extra spell, and I can get Gristlebrand back pretty easily, so I don't really care about that. And also if I'm Shallow Graving, I can, sacrifice him at the end of turn and not have him exiled, which is fun.
Yeah, it lets you kind of combo off multiple times, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I know with my old list, like, it would be basically turn 2 or turn 1 or nothing. If I had to top deck, I lost, which was very unfortunate.
The deck can be unforgiving in terms of top decks, because a lot of your pieces kind of don't work without one of the halves.
Yeah.
Like Shallow Graves are not good when all you've got are Faithless Lootings and discard spells. Like, yeah.
But so it was silences to stop him from casting spells, and Beseiju to James trying to cut it properly.
Unorthodox card there. It's like enveloping the entire deck in his hand. Maybe,
that's right.
Maybe palming some cards off, we don't know.
So James, you can, would you assume that he's brought in, say, like a Rest in Peace or a couple? I don't know what sideboard what he plays. So
I didn't see any sideboard cards, which is very beneficial for me. A good thing.
Do you see a Stoneforge?
Yeah, we can see James has kept like a pretty generic kind of Stoneforge Mystic based mid-range deck hand. He has a Snap Custom Mage. He has a Stoneforge. He has a Brainstorm.
Unmask exiling a Grizzlebrand?
Yeah, I don't care about Grizzlebrand. Who cares about him?
Yeah.
I think I have maybe a hand of an Entomb and a Shallow Grave or something like that. So Grizzlebrand's essentially a dead card because I'm going off next turn.
You can see all the Sword Supply shares and Path to Exiles from James here. He really wants to make Grizzlebrand a one-shot draw 14.
Yeah.
Which
still pretty good.
Still pretty good, especially with the Sword Supply shares where you'll end up gaining all that life back, and choosing to leave the Path to Exile to be taken instead of one of the swords is definitely an option. Option I would not have thought to explore.
Yeah. Sword Supply shares is currently. Path to Exile is currently worse for me because I'm running 1 basic land.
Yeah, exactly.
So Splash has gain 7 life. I don't really mind about that at all.
Yeah, I think Path would have been a much better option here, but anyway, I guess he's thinking about maybe he just has that Snap Custom Mage anyway, so it's not even bothered. And it is kind of awkward here because he can't cast that Stoneforge Mystic because he put both Sword Supply Shares on top. So he really wants that second Sword Supply Shares.
Yeah.
I think maybe taking the opportunity to get rid of maybe a land, something like that, to make it so that you're able to put a Stoneforge Mystic in play, get a faster clock. Like your opponent knows your hand except for 1 card. So what you're representing here is maybe a Force of Will if you're lucky, but
also any sort of counter spell, I would dare say
a literal counter spell,
yeah, or anything, just trying to make sure that I know that my first spell is not going to work, so I'm being very careful, or not. Who cares?
I mean, you've seen.
We got a thumbs up from James.
Yeah, that's right.
You've seen the entire hand, and you know that.
Of course.
It's just better in these combat decks to a lot of the time just make your opponent have it, because if they don't have it, you win. So the upside is just tremendous in terms of expected value resolving some of your spells. And you can see you've got an unmask here, but I'm not sure you've got that second black card that isn't that shallow grave you want to use. And you've got to definitely what's going through your head at this point in the game?
How awkward it is that I have 6 cards that exile other cards, like they need to exile other cards to work. 3 unmasks, 3 chrome moxes, and it became very awkward for me for a little while because I was going, God, I wish I could keep this card and also unmask, you know. So eventually the unmasks had to go, which was unfortunate. But like with the chrome mox, it just became too much. I was thinking,
you have no real way in the deck to recoup that card disadvantage, right? No. Yeah. Faithless Looting isn't going to leave you up cards, right?
No, exactly. It's very unfortunate. I think I kept those 2 cards in my hand for quite a while, going, God, I wish I had something else. You know, just if I top deck anything else, I'm probably fine. You know, because if I top deck a black card, I can just Chrome Mox, get out, and then just go straight to Gristlebrand, and then just start going off. But it gets dangerous.
Yeah, definitely. You can see James here electing to deploy the Flash Parker to get some kind of clock going, so that he can at least you know, not just give you all the time in the world without doing anything. And he did crack that fetch and shuffle away that second Sword Supply share. So he really only has kind of one answer at the moment. And also just fetching the Scrubland really hurt him because now he's only on 1 blue source, so he can't afford to ponder because he knows he needs to hold up that spell snare to stop you shallow graving. Yeah. And as we're going to see here, he's just going to get unmasked and he's going to lose that spell snare, and he's not going to be able to do anything. Mind? No. Yeah. We're going to get the silence going, I think, and
so this is like
that's basically unmasking the spell snare.
Yeah. How do you feel about silence in the sideboard?
Yeah, I've seen plenty of lists playing silence as an answer to these kind of counterspell based mid range decks, or even like the hardcore control decks like Miracles.
Yep.
You just say, hey,
don't play anything. Be quiet for a second.
You gotta counter this, otherwise it's gonna be game over.
Yeah, which is good for me as well, because if he counters it, then that's one less counter that he has.
Exactly,
in his hand,
and then you can probably use it to push through, and if it resolves, you're home free. There's very little your opponent can do to disrupt your strategy once they're under the silence.
Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate that you can't hear anything at the moment, because I am taunting him quite hard, knowing that he's playing a lot of counter spells and not able to cast them. Because I'm just going to go ham. I didn't even look at the cards before I drew another 7, because I was like, if I'm not going off this turn, I pretty much lose. So I may as well go as hard as I can. Yeah, once I get the unmasks, you know, it's pretty good.
Yep. And that just really kind of takes away any chance James has of fighting back. Mm-hmm. He's got 2 Swords Supply shares, but unfortunately he can't cast them. And when he can, there's going to be no creature in play bar his own. Yeah. And that spell snare isn't really going to do a lot when he's under the silence.
That's right.
I've noticed in a lot of sideboards, people declining to play something like Orm's Chant, because a lot of these...
what is Orm's Chant?
Orm's Chant is an instant from, I believe, Apocalypse, maybe. It's white, with a kicker for white. Mm-hmm. Target player can't play spells this turn. Okay. And if you kick it, creatures that player controls can't attack. Now, the difference between that and silence is mainly the aspect of Orm's Chant actually targets, whereas silence just says your opponents. Yeah. Right. So Orm's Chant is something that can be misdirected. It's something that can't be cast under a ley line of sanctity. Okay. And yeah, for that reason, I believe people have been favouring silence. Now you can see here you talked about sideboarding in wear tears earlier, but I think they're actually hide seeks.
Oh, they are too, of course. Yes, they are hide and seeks.
Just wanted to get a little bit more spicy than wear tear. You don't want to be able to blow up an artifact and an enchantment. You just want to put it on the bottom, or in the combo deck matchups, maybe just take a card out of their deck. Yeah. You can also with Seek, can you search your own library?
I couldn't say. You'll have to look that up, unfortunately.
I'll have a look.
What I do like is that show and tell can be good with Chromebox, so I can get all the colors.
Search target opponent's library.
Right.
Well, you can search their library for whatever their highest converted mana cost card is, and use it as another way to draw additional cards with Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
So it does have that upside to
And it definitely
to
was
where
it was a huge consideration to keep for a long time. But now that I'm not kind of running red anymore, it makes it worse. You know, I can't use it as anti-hate, and anti-hate is great. You know, it's kind of the main thing that I always side in is to make sure that I don't get blasted out of the water by a turn 1 Leyline of the Void or
definitely
a turn 0 Leyline of the Void or a turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage or something like that.
Yeah, I do like the way this deck built up storm counts by just shredding your opponent's hand with discard spells. It's not really, you just play 1 or 2 rituals, and then as long as you've got maybe 4 mana left over at the end of it, you can just destroy your opponent's hand. So that even if you do fail to go off, you're spending your turn just completely demoralizing and demolishing your opponent.
Yeah, I feel really bad now that you reminded me of just demolishing him and making him feel bad. I did end up getting that storm count right up there, even though I only had to get to 6. If I'm not mistaken, I did get to 10. So
just a bit of overkill.
It's overkill, but it's insurance policy.
When you've
you
got
never know.
Yeah, when you've got a Grizzlebrand doing 7 points of the work for you,
Yeah.
you don't need much of a storm count after
No.
that.
yeah, that's right.
I think so. Yeah, so that was.
So that was
I
quite
do
a
see
beating,
Pithing
yeah.
Needle and a Rest in Peace. Yeah, Pithing Needle's a good one.
Oh, definitely.
And he also has the Containment Priest as a way to kind of respond to a Shallow Grave or a Reanimate, kind of get that Mizy value going.
Yeah, Containment Priest sucks. You're not expecting it to happen, and then when it does, you're just like, well, I guess I'll just exile this instead.
It's definitely, I mean, in my experience playing against Tin Fins, it's always been, I need turn 1 answers.
Yes, it can be very
like,
punishing because the deck plays a lot of discard spells, so it's gonna usually play a turn 1 discard spell. So you either have to be able to deploy it quickly or draw it for your turn.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
I mean, you always have. I mean, if you're playing like white, you always have your Rest in Peace and your Containment Priests up as backup in case you do get to turn 2 and you're able to deploy them and shut them off that way. But I think in a lot of matchups, especially against Tin Fins, you need to have that answer straight away.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's usually goodbye, good night, goodbye for that.
And Death and Taxes is a pretty fun matchup as well with Tin Fins because if I don't go off turn 1, then it's pretty good for you. You know, like you're able to put down even a Thalia or anything like that. Oh, that's the end of the thing.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
So it goes, we just pause it forever, so that's fine. Anyway, the video has stopped, but that is fine. I was saying with the matchup, you can just turn me off with a Thalia or a Containment Priest or anything like that. Turn 1, I'll just try my hardest to get a turn 1, game 1 I try the hardest to get a turn 1 win, and then game 2 I'll be a little bit more conservative with my hand, make sure that I've got something that protects me.
It's good. Well, you won that one 2-0, so that's
Thank you.
pretty
Thank
quick.
you.
Alright, on to the next one.